turn your cell phones on silent. Clear your tables at the break and neatly put all of your material on your chair. No filming or recording of any kind during the seminar. We will allow you to take a photo with Bob and Sandy at a designated time during the program. Given the numbers involved, we need you to step into place and leave once the photo is taken. Please don't take any photos with your personal phone or camera. Get social and use the hashtag #BobProctor. Leave the room promptly at breaks to allow us to tidy the room. We will open the doors when we'd like you to enter the room. Please remain outside until we do so. Due to the enormous bandwidth required for streaming, we would ask that you not tap into the room Wi-Fi. The hotel has areas that provide free Wi-Fi, which can be used on breaks and lunch. We have a way of bringing order to the room. When the person on stage raises their hand, we'd like you to follow suit to bring order and silence to the room.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the event. Well, hello and welcome. This is Becca Hansen. I'm the Director of Operations for Proctor Gallagher Institute. You know, you are about to embark on a lot of information, some incredible information in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles over the next 2.5 days. And you're probably sitting there wondering what to expect. And our CEO, Sandy Gallagher, can shed some light on that. So I've asked her to sit down with me and address a few questions that I think you might have on your mind. So Sandy, thanks so much for taking some time with me today.
It's good to be here, Becca.
So I would like to go back to 2006, August 18th of 2006. What does that day mean to you?
That's the day my life changed. You know, Becca, that'll be 10 years this summer.
That's
10
right.
years. I was thinking about it. We're getting ready for the event. We've got people coming in. We start tomorrow night. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, that was almost 10 years ago. And I had been invited to a management leadership seminar, and I had no idea what I was getting into. No idea. I didn't know the name of the seminar. I didn't know who was teaching it. I just said, sure. You know, it was in Vancouver, Washington. I was in Seattle. I said, sure, I'll go. I love anything that can help me grow as a person. And so there I was in Vancouver, Washington, and I can see it in my mind's eye. It was a Friday night in the hotel room, and out on the stage walks Bob Proctor. And like, I can see where I'm sitting at the table because it was such a transformational day in my life. He walks out on the stage, and I couldn't tell you what he said exactly, but he started talking, and it wasn't but 15 minutes that I felt like somebody took my head off, shook it all around, and you know this feeling.
I do.
And stuck it back on, and it was like the whole world opened up. There's a slide that Bob shows on awareness, and it starts out with a little teeny dot. You know the slide with the little teeny dot. I said, now just imagine this is your level of awareness, just a teeny dot in the center of the screen. And in one moment, your awareness can be illuminated to fill the entire screen. And the impact of that on your life, it's hard to describe, but that's what happened to me. It was like, all of a sudden I was reevaluating the beliefs that I had. I was reevaluating what was possible for me in my life, not just professionally, but you know, in my relationships, in my health, in my wellness, in my every aspect of my life. And so what I like to say to people when they're getting ready to attend a Science of Getting Rich seminar, which that seminar was.
That's right.
I like to say, put your seatbelt on and hang on, because you are in for a ride. And you really, I mean, it's just an amazing experience.
So what is, if you had one takeaway from that event, what's the most memorable takeaway you have?
There are so many, but you know, I think back to the goals that I set at that seminar, and
They were very aggressive for you, weren't they?
Well, this is what I was getting to, is that they seemed so aggressive at the time. They seemed like huge goals for me, but knowing what I know now, I would have made bigger goals at that time.
Really?
Yeah, I would have, because anything you truly want in your heart, you can have. You can have. Now, the goal that I set in that seminar, you know, I was practicing law at the time. It had been almost 20 years where I was doing bank mergers and acquisitions, and I was forming banks and doing IPOs and securities work, that kind of thing. And I really thought, okay, things are great. My life is good. I'm happy. I've got a great relationship with my family and friends and an excellent career. But Bob kept saying these things that got me to go deep inside. And he would say things like, he quoted Earl Nightingale, most people tiptoe through life, hoping to make it safely to death. What a great quote that is, and it is so true. Let's play it safe, you know? Let's just make measured little steps, and as we get older, we play it safer. And next thing we know, our time is done. And Bob's up there saying, get out there and dance, you know? Like, just go for it. And I thought, wow, have I been playing it safe? Because I thought back to when I was a kid. My mom tells me I was 3 years old when I said I wanted to be a lawyer just like Dad. So now we talk about visioneering and visualizing. Well, that's what I was doing as a 3-year-old. I'm going to be a lawyer just like my dad. No idea what I was doing. And then I went on and I'm in high school still visualizing that I'm going to be this great banking lawyer. And I did that through college, through law school. And I was an unconscious competent. And then you get out, you get in, you're doing your career, do as best as you can, get as high up in the company as you can, and lock in that career and do well, and then stay put. That's the lesson. And Bob's out there saying, don't stay put. That's the craziest thing in the world. And he's saying most people are extras in their own movie, you know. And then he quoted Bill Gove. And when he quoted Bill Gove, it was like a bucket of ice fell over my head, because he said, if I want to be free, I got to be me. Not the me I think you think I should be, not the me I think my wife thinks I should be, not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I got to be me, and I better know who me is. And he says, then he goes, what do you want? What do you really want? And anyone that's getting ready for this seminar, I encourage them to sit down before the seminar starts and say, what do you really want? Without any regard to what they think is possible, knowing that anything is possible. What do you really want? How do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What do you want to buy? Do you want to travel? What do you want to do? What kind of marriage do you want to have? And get clear and come up with the big goal. Now, what I wrote down in that little book, I want to be in the inner circle of this great company. I want to be Bob Proctor's closest advisor, and I want to create a program with him to bring in these companies that I'd worked in. And I slammed it shut. I wrote it in the teeniest, tiniest print, and you know, inside I'm going, who do you think you are? You're just a lawyer. You don't know how to do that. And but that's what I wrote down, and that was the goal I came up with. But as I look back now, you know, and thinking, okay, here we are, we're doing the Science of Getting Rich seminar. I'm teaching it with Bob. We have the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Bob is my business partner, co-owner of the company. We have an amazing team, you know. And I think, wow, where it is today is it was just a fraction of what the goal was back then. So I encourage people to think really big on what you want.
If you had just one more piece of advice to give to our viewers here in the room with us, our live streamers at home, what would you give them going into the next 2.5 days to get really the best out of it?
Well, you know, there's a song that Kathy Mateo wrote, and there are 4 lines in it that are so good. And she starts out, she says, you gotta let go. She says, you gotta sing like you don't need the money. You gotta love like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. And if you think about those lines, if you really think about it, that's what the advice I'd give. Let go, you know? Sing like you don't need the money. I mean, dance like nobody's watching. Come from the heart. Get in touch with what you want for you, what you want for your life. And let your heart